Problemista is finally out on digital. I was waiting and waiting for this movie to come out. Supposedly, it had a wide theater release on March 1st, and only about 300 theaters got this movie, so I finally got a chance to check it out. Directed by Julio Torres, Problemista is about an aspiring toy designer's work visa running out and a job assisting an erratic art world outcast becoming his only hope to stay in the country and realize his dream. The film stars Julio Torres, Tilda Swinton, Isabella Rossellini, and RZA. Going into Problemista, this film was supposed to come out last year in August of 2023. The whole strike happened and they moved it to March 1st of 2024 during Dune weekend, in which it had a very limited release. It went wide a few weeks later, in which it was only in about 300 theaters, and my town didn't get it, so I just waited for digital. Now this film, it starts off with this character named Alejandro. There is this reoccurring dream that his mother has, in which he goes into this mysterious cave into the unknown, representing the fact that he's going to the United States, and in this case he moves to a town in New York. Now when he's in New York, he lives with a bunch of roommates and he wants to be a toy maker for Hasbro. He puts in his application and immediately gets rejected, though he does have some ideas of having this twisted finger Barbie and also a Cabbage Patch doll that has a smartphone. He goes to take up a job at this place called Freeze Corp, in which he is a bodyguard for this artist who paints a bunch of eggs. And he actually gets fired after something happens with one of the machines and it's unplugged. They get pissed at him for this and they fire him. And he meets the wife of this artist that he was looking over, and she agrees with him that if he can actually hunt down these paintings and put it into an exhibit, she'll sponsor him, because if he's not sponsored, he'll be kicked out of the country. Tilda Swinton plays Elizabeth, and she is a very over-the-top character. Now, our character Alejandro, when he is working for this woman will yell at anybody and everybody, even for the most smallest, minuscule things. For example, there is some photos in her phone that she accidentally deletes, and she can't recover them. So she calls up the phone company. She's going ballistic on them. She wants to talk to a human. Now, I do understand from her predicament when she's actually trying to call this company. You know, you have to go through all those prompts when you actually call a company, and then you have to do the voice messaging and everything like that. I absolutely hate that. I want to talk to a human too. So I totally understood her perspective in that aspect. But there are times where she just wants something then, now, and then if she doesn't get that, she will just blow up on them. There are times where people will just talk to her and she'll be like, don't scream at me, what are you doing? She just will flip out at any instance, and she plays the character so well. And it goes a little bit without saying that she can be a little bit annoying at times and a very big of a handful at times. Alejandro here, with him just going through the motions here of immigration and how he could actually get deported, a lot of the struggles that he actually went through, that's what this film really tackles. It shows a little bit of the artsy side. There is one part where they have like this little pyramid of where he's going through all these different doors and options, because he needs all these fees to actually just stay into the US, and he has all these things that he has to actually do. But at the same time, when he's not sponsored, he can't collect any money, so he has to go on Craigslist and do all these different odd jobs. He picks up one job where he is just trying to sell beauty products, and it says he can make up to $200 an hour, but then he's having trouble actually being a salesman. Then he has another job, an odd job, where he's cleaning windows, and he has this weird guy that's staring at him and feeling up all over himself and trying to seduce him. So he goes through a lot of weird jobs and weird things throughout this journey. If you watch any A24 film, you know there's going to be some artsy parts in A24, and there is a few parts in here like that. For instance, there is a part where Alejandro is looking at Craigslist and he's trying to find jobs, and they have this sequence where this black guy is talking to him and throwing out jobs, and he's in like these like vines, which was a very weird sequence, but it worked for what it was. You know, it's definitely trying to throw in that satire. There's another scene too where Elizabeth, if she gets mad, it's almost like they're in like a dark room and it's like a red color that really surrounds them as she's getting madder by the minute. Certain little scenes like that they throw in there. The music in here was very interesting as well. I felt like it fit with the film, but there were times where I was like, this is really kind of weird kind of music. But I think overall it worked for what it was. As far as negatives for this film, the only thing I can really say is I don't think I really ever understood the artists here of these paintings of eggs. I just didn't really feel like, how is he this eccentric artist that is getting famous and people want to actually buy these? I mean, I'm not really sure who's really interested in egg paintings because, you know, he tries to put a little bit of spin as to what these eggs are actually doing in the paintings, but I was just like, I don't know, it's not really my thing. So little things like that. I also felt like with certain things in the characters, they didn't really change that much throughout, but then there was a little bit of portion with that on the flip side on which characters do change, which I really did like, and then other characters actually influence each other to change as well. So on that front, I'm kind of mixed. But overall, I think I enjoyed the film. There were a little bit of parts that took me out a little bit where I wasn't necessarily bored, but I was just a little bit taken out by certain little things. A little bit of a monkey wrench they throw in there towards that second and third act of the film, which I think slows it down just a little bit, but I think overall the pacing was pretty good for the film. It was shot well, it was made pretty well, and I think overall it's artsy in a way for A24, but I think it really did stick to the story, even though at times it felt like there was a little bit of unfocus in certain little aspects, but for the most part it stayed on track and it was a pretty good movie overall. So as far as a score for this film, I would give it a 3.5 out of 5. I really enjoyed it for what it was, and it kept me interested throughout, and I was interested to see what would happen with our main character. And I was very interested also with what he really goes through with his visas and if he would get deported and all that kind of aspect and the struggles that he had, because it really does relate to a lot of things that are really happening in our country as well. So I was very interested and glued to that aspect of the film the whole time. With all that said, I want to hear from you guys. What did you guys think of Problemista? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Did you just think it was kind of meh? I know not a lot of people got to check out this film because of the limited release, but now that it's out on digital, are you guys going to give it a shot or are you going to skip it altogether? Leave any and all comments down below. Thank you guys for watching as always, and I will see you guys next time.